I hope everyone is having a wonderful day today. We are going to talk about the best build for Viola, her best teams, weapons, strengths and weaknesses, skill priority, and how to play her. Let's dive in. Viola is a Thunder Element Breaker character who usually serves as an effective first strike character. Her skills provide additional area of effect damage which can help fend off enemies, even while she's not the active player on the battlefield. Likewise, while her passive skill is in effect, team's main DPS can capitalize on the sustained damage to eliminate enemies quicker. First, let's talk about her skill priority. You should prioritize upgrading her passive skill, Silent Dirge, as Viola's core gameplay revolves around activating her passive skill. Her team gets the most of her abilities when this skill is active on the battlefield, as it provides sustained AoE damage. Its effects remain active even when Viola isn't the active team member. Second, you should upgrade her. Skill 1, Deep Tonal Range, using Skill 1 is essential to Viola's gameplay loop, and it will be used frequently to activate her passive. Third, you should upgrade her combo skill, Stringless Vibration, because when Viola is in combo burst mode, using her second skill activates the original tonal range around her and generates a spreading resonance every 1.1 seconds, dealing chase damage. Fourth, you should upgrade her second skill, Staccato Bowing, as it's also an essential skill in activating her passive. Fifth, you should upgrade her ultimate skill, Requiem Splendor. It's not necessary to upgrade considering the role Viola is playing most of the time in a team. Only upgrade this skill if you have spare resources, and the same goes for her basic attack. Next, let's talk about her best weapons. Her best fit is going to be her exclusive 5-star weapon, Glimpse in the Box. The base effect enhances thunder damage by 7.2%. When Viola activates Resonance, each spread increases resonance damage by 20%. This effect can stack up to 2 times and last for 2 seconds. Your other options are going to be the 3-star weapon Bond of Travel and 4-star Bond of Travel Enhanced. Now let's talk about our best team. This is a sustained AoE damage team with Viola as Breaker Florence as your main DPS and Enki as assist. Having Viola and Enki use their passive skills will provide AoE damage that lasts for a good amount of time. Florence or any other DPS can capitalize on the continuous damage affecting multiple enemies by dealing additional damage while Viola's and Enki's passive skill are in effect. While Viola's passive skill is active, activate Enki's passive skill to debuff enemies while providing additional AoE damage. Then switch to Florence to unleash more damage to weakened enemies, as well as those who have bigger HP. You can also use Shamash, as he can be a strong DPS, especially when his passive skill is upgraded. As his rage fills up quicker by going head-on against enemies, he can stay longer on the battlefield and continually capitalize on Viola's passive skill. Erishan can be your another DPS option. Erishan can pick off easier enemies while Viola's passive skills is active, effectively thinning out the battlefield before taking on more difficult enemies. Nana. Her AoE skills can also provide additional sustained attacks, serving as another breaker option for the team. Thanks to all of your support, I have reached my 500 subscribers goal. Now let's see if we can reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month. I'm going to be making a lot of interesting videos on Black Beacon, so don't forget to subscribe. Next, let's see what her strengths and weaknesses are. Strengths: exceptional off-field AoE damage. Viola's passive skill triggers Resonance when both original and tonicized tonal ranges are active, dealing continuous thunder AoE damage every 1.1 seconds for up to 15 seconds. This makes her unmatched for off-field damage with a fast rotation, under 2 seconds, and minimal field time. Crowd control utility. Her skills apply the electrocuted state, which can proc elemental anomalies like overload when paired with elements like fire, for example Florence. This stuns enemies and reduces their tenacity, enhancing team control in multi-enemy scenarios. Weaknesses: situational AoE, focus. Viola's kit is tailored for multi-target encounters, but her damage is less impactful against single-target bosses, where DPS like Florence or Li Chi outperform her due to their focused burst damage. Niche in non-Thunder comps, her utility is reduced in teams lacking Thunder synergy, as her electrocuted debuffs and AoE damage are less effective without elemental resonance or complementary characters like Hefei. In case you didn't know, the electrocuted debuff inflicts periodic thunder damage and reduces enemy tenacity, priming them for anomalies. However, its full potential is unlocked only when paired with elements that trigger reactions. For example, Overload Thunderfire, for example, with Florence, causes AoE explosions, amplifying crowd control and damage in multi-target fights. Conduct Thunderwater, for example, with Asti, spreads thunder damage to nearby enemies, enhancing AoE clear. In non-thunder comps like a dark-focused team, for example, Nana Wuxi, or a Firewind comp, for example, Florence Sha Xin, there's no secondary element to trigger these reactions. Without Overload or Conduct, Electrocuted is just minor chip damage and a weak tenacity reduction, which characters like AZI, Dark Debuffs, or Erishan, Death Shred, outshine with more universal utility. Now let's see if you should dupe her. Dupe means potential, and potential means getting more copies of her. Dupe 1. While tonal range lasts for 15 seconds, each deals regular attack damage to enemies within its range every 2 seconds. Without her Dupe 1, her first dupe increased the regular attack damage to every 1 second instead of every 2 seconds. Viola's core gameplay is involved around activating her passive skill and synchronizing its effects with her team members, so it is highly recommended to get her to Dupe 1. Dupe 2 is also a recommended dupe as it increases damage from tonal range by 10%. It's recommended to strengthen Viola's regular attack damage in tandem with this potential to get the most out of it, but you don't have to chase it. If you get lucky and end up getting a second dupe, be happy. Dupe 3 reduces the movement speed of enemies within the tonal range by 50%. It is especially useful against hordes of enemies and elite enemies. Dupe 4 increases your skill level by 2. Dupe 5, it increases the damage of her ultimate skill by 40%. Dupe 6, it makes the tonal ranges explode when modulated, or upon expiration, dealing 350% chase damage, which is pretty good. In short, getting her Dupe 1 is important. Dupe 2 would be considered even better. After that, the biggest power spike that she gets is on Dupe 6, which is a lot of investment, so don't chase it unless you are a whale. Now let's see how to actually play her. Viola's key gameplay loop involves casting her passive skill and synchronizing with the team's main damage dealers, while her passive skill is active. Viola's passive skill, Silent Dirge, can generate a wave of resonance-dealing area damage onto enemies continuously for as long as her original tonal range and tonicized tonal range are active on the battlefield. To activate tonicized tonal range, use her skill 1, Deep Tonal Range, which releases an original tonal range, Yellow Wave, at the target. Afterwards, use skill 2, Staccato Bowing, to transform the original tonal range into tonicized tonal range, Red Wave. When tonicized tonal range is active, use her first skill again to cast original tonal range, Yellow Wave, successfully performing the skill 1, then skill 2, then again skill 1 combo will cast both tonal ranges and trigger passive skill, Silent Dirge. Now, use skill 1, Deep Tonal Range. It casts an original tonal range onto a target and deal regular damage. The first step is done in preparation to activate tonicized tonal range. Move into range and use skill 2, Staccato Bowing. While the original tonal range is active, move into attack range and then use skill 2, Staccato Bowing, to turn original tonal range into tonicized tonal range. You'll need to be in close range to the enemy and the active original tonal range to successfully perform this. Use skill 1, Deep Tonal Range. Again, to trigger passive skill, Silent Dirge, cast a new original tonal range by using her first skill to have both tonicized tonal range and original tonal range active on the battlefield. When both tonal ranges are active, it triggers passive skill, Silent Dirge. You'll know when you've successfully activated original tonal range and tonicized tonal range if you see both a yellow wave and red wave on the battlefield. Switch to a DPS character and perform attack combos. Using that DPS, while passive skill Silent Dirge is active, you can switch to another character, preferably a DPS, to deal more damage on top of the sustained area damage from the wave of resonance and tonal ranges. Switching her out won't cancel the effect of her passive, so don't worry. Repeat steps 1 to 4 until Viola can fill her ultimate skill meter. It will be a great advantage to have already casted passive skill Silent Dirge and switch out to other characters to continuously deal more damage onto enemies while the effects of Viola's skills are still active. The effects generally last for 12 seconds. This is advantageous for your team, especially when Viola's skills are in cooldown. Use ultimate skill Requiem Splendor. Try to target multiple enemies that are close to each other, as her ultimate skill casts 2 electric nets that trap all enemies and deal damage within its range. It is best to queue all team members' ultimate skills and unleash them after Viola performs her ultimate skill. That's it for the Viola build and team guide. Everyone, have a wonderful day.